Good morning, my name is Jesus Sanchez. I'm gonna do the crop presentation about sweet peppers. What is the origin of the sweet peppers? The sweet peppers are native from Mexico, Central America, Northern America, and South America. It was brought from the old world, like Europe, Asia, Africa, and the surrounding islands, by Columbus in his trip in 1493. In the 16th century, this cultivation had already spread out through Spain, from where it distributed to the rest of the world. But where the first peppers were found, it was in Bolivia and Peru, where up to 4 different species were cultivated. This means that the peppers are of America, but more part of South, and did not arrive in a way exported from any other country. Has it always been used as a food source? Peppers are not always used as a food. They are used for more different things, such as analgesic effect. They reduce the availability of the chemical messenger of the pain, called substance P, and that it was used as a postoperative treatment after amputation and in case of arthritis. In addition, it also part of balsams for skin irritated or herpes. What plant does the pepper belong to? The pepper, the genus Capsule, the genus of more than 30 species of flowering plant in the Nightshade family, and Solnat. This is his name, his scientific name, and the several which are extensively cultivated for their edible, often pungent fruits. Peppers are a botanical fruit because they have seeds on the plant. That's why it's a botanic plant. With this definition in mind, peppers are classified as a fruit because they contain tiny seeds. And in the middle, they can grow and flower plants of the pepper plant. The different types of peppers, we have 7 different: the Anaheim, the banana, the bell, the cherry, the cumalo, the pepperonici, and the poblano. That's the 7 different types, so that's why sometimes we can see a pepper that is yellow, sometimes a green, or I don't know, there is a lot of different colors like orange or purple sometimes. Sometimes we can see that colors is mixed, is because they got it out from the turf too early, so that's why it's changing the colors still, and there's kind of mix of colors. And does have pepper's medical qualities? Well, yes. The pepper is an important antioxidant due to this high beta-carotene content, and it comes something as vitamins B2 and E2. Therefore, it prevents degenerative and chronic disease, and also protects cells from pollution and early aging. They have the correct function of the immune system through the generation of red and white blood cells and the formation of antibodies, a good function of the intestine and the digestive system, and they are ideal for pregnant women and children, and to prevent certain disease of the intestinal and notably favor intestinal transit. For this prevention, have vitamin C and B6, which is vital for the central nervous and the entire brain. I have some potassium, that is perfect for the nervous system and the entire brain. Red peppers also have a large amount of lycopene, which is a carotid with anti-carotid properties. Also prevent acid disease and brain hemorrhages and cataracts. So basically, all the vitamins they have is like B2, E2, 3, B6. All these vitamins are good from the digestive system, for the brain, for the nervous system, and they result sometimes more like in the back days to like all these cases for like hemorrhage or like heart disease or something like that. Does the sweet peppers need any requirements to grow up? Well, the peppers are very sensitive to the cold, So these plants need temperature more than, above between the 10 and 15 centigrades to develop well. Also, they're between the 20 and 25. So you can plant these, for example, in Canada and everything. This they will not grow up because it's very cold, and this is not the perfect climate for him. And also the soils, the deep soils, rich in organic matter and nitrogen, but slightly sandy, and ideal for this crop. Very heavily soils, which is too much clay, could generate unweighted waterlings, increasing the possibility of suffering from disease. So you have to put a perfect place to grow up these sweet peppers. For example, in Yuma we can do it because it's too hot. Even if the deep soils are good, you guys can still plant it, but it's not the perfect environmental to do it. So what is most in United States where they plant it more is in Los Angeles, in California, because still have sandy soils, and this is still a good floor for it. And the climate is perfect for it because they are between the 10 and 15 or the 20, 25. They never go up, they never go down. It's always kind of like good weather. Yeah. Does the sweet peppers have any requirements? Then, well, yes. We can see here, as a crop, there's 1 meter and 40 centimeters between each one. And then when you plant the seed, has to be 12 inches inside and 24, that is gonna grow all the plant. But we will put the seeds at the default 2 or 3 millimeters, and then we must avoid planting the seeds too close together because it causes the development of weak seedlings that will be difficult to grow. That means because if we put it together, the plants, they can get into each other and steal their vitamins and minerals for each other and everything. And between the 8 and 20 days later, you should see the pepper seedlings begin to germinate. Depending on the size of the pepper, various plates spacing should be between 12 and 18 inches. That is the same, but in different centimeters and inches. And peppers can double as an ornamental, so it's like some into the flower beds and borders. So yeah, but it depends on what pepper you plant. It's not the same as we said before. There's 7 type of peppers. Each one have a different one, but this is all the global peppers, like how you should plant it. Harvesting, The pepper is harvested only once a week, but sometimes it's necessary to harvest more frequently, every 4 days. It's recommended to harvest as often necessary to ensure the fruits are obtained in their optimal state, which also promotes the development of small fruits and new flowers to the plant. What that means? That means that sometimes you don't have to wait too much time to get the perfect fruit, because with a small fruit, what it's getting is all the potential of fruit, and then it helps the plant to grow more and faster later on. The peppers are harvested by hand, like we saw in the picture. Carefully, no any electronic devices or anything for another crops. Carefully touching the fruit from the plant by pressing lightly with the thumb of the injection between the fruit and the stalk on the plant branch. So how we see here, the thumb we cut right next to the plant, so we take it out and we're gonna wait for another flower getting from the same place. In many occasions, the pepper are separate from the plant at a stage in which they have not been developed, but they are separate and are not put in the market, since in a couple of days they will have a color and flavor. You know, when you get an apple or another type of fruit that still don't have the color, they tell you just leave it a couple of days and you will get a different color and a different taste. So this happened the same with the peppers. The life cycle of the pepper comprises 4 main phases: vegetative selling, flowering and fruiting, and then vegetative selling, flowering and fruiting. The root system, pivoting and deep when started by direct seeding system, and can reach 1.2 meters. In crops started by seedlings in the superficial, and that's like and I was looking for like the harvesting dates of everything, and like one interesting thing is that the University of California Cooperage Station reports an average of pepper yield of 18.3 tons per acre. So it's a fun fact that we have to have in mind because it's a lot of tons of peppers. Pest and disease control. Well, there is a lot of disease in all the crops, but in particular in the sweet peppers, we have bacterial leaf spot. If it's one of the most common infections in pepper plants, that is like the insect, like very small, and they try to do circles in the plant. Mosaic virus is also a common viral infection that tries insects, as I said before. Solar blight is a functional disease that is prevalent on warmer climates. And then powdery mildew can appear most of the underside of leaves. And then we have control methods. Control methods are more like to help the disease and help the flower to get a good pepper and everything. So clean seed greenhouse sanitation. Greenhouse sanitation is most what they do in greenhouse when they don't have the perfect climate or everything. Crop rotation, agricultural measures in the field are okay components for disease control, but I also start with the seed. Then we have a couple like control methods that we have, but yeah, they are all different each type of crop. We have chamomile tea helps prevent damming off. Then sprinkling cinnamon powder on the top of the mix to prevent mold. Yellow sticky traps can help pets like gnats or like the insect that we said before. The moisture virus is also common by infection. And then many plants thrive with at least 8 hours of sunlight. Then the last one, the last control, we have them weeds out of the nursery. But yeah, it's all control methods that we have to get the crops done. So this is the kind of examples that we have. This is the buyers that they do. Example, all the insects, they start eating the flower and the plants. And you can see here the little insects get into the flower and everything. So yeah, that's the buyers that we're trying to take out on the pest. The market economic the US and Arizona production. Well, pepper be stored in the refrigerator for 7 to 10 days of 45 degrees, 7 centigrade, with its 85 to 90% relative humidity. So it have to be very wet and like in a cold weather. They go to the food companies which process the food and distribute it to different commercial points. What I mean, when they harvest everything, what they do is just like they send it to the commercial spots, not commercial spots to sell it, just like the commercial companies. For example, not Walmart because Walmart is a supermarket, but like a brand of peppers, the brand, they send it to that brand of the industry, where it's all where they put it inside the package and everything, while they send it over there. They say, oh, this one is good, this one is bad, this one we have to keep here like a couple of days. So they have to do all that, and then they wait and they send to the center markets like Walmart and all this stuff. Peppers are grown at a large number of farms across the US. In 2017, California produced 47 to 64% of the fresh market peppers and chili peppers respectively grown in the US. Bell peppers is a type of sweet peppers, but chili peppers no, but it's also a percent of the peppers, so I have to include it because they didn't have only sweet peppers in this percent, the 47 and 64%, respect to the grown years. So basically, yeah, US don't get too much from outside, but like also we will see later US get a lot of exportation from other countries to get more peppers because it's not a lot of production that they have in the US. CBP reminds travelers that importation of peppers and tomatoes remain prevalent. That means that if you bring peppers in your plane or in your baggage or everything from another country that is not the US, they are gonna import it because it's not legal to have them. Travelers are reminded to declare all items that they are importing. So yeah, that's a fact that we have to have in mind. And then major exportation destination include of India, because India is the first country that export peppers. So they say US, UK, Sweden, Italy, Germany, France, and Netherlands. That's all the countries that they get peppers from India, because that's the large producer of peppers. The current supply is not available to meet the global demand, which has made exports more profitable. Conversely, this has led some of the countries to focus on the black pepper. Black pepper is not part of the sweet pepper, but also is part of the peppers that they are sending, exporting by increasing the area and I put in the jail. So yeah, and this is a fact about the sweet peppers exported and everything. So we're saying Mexico is the #1 exporter as a country. Exported, that's the money that they get with the peppers, and that's the percent they get in 2019-2020. Spain is the #2, Netherlands, Canada, United States the #5, but it's still get imported as in Netherlands and everything. Turkey, Morocco, China, South Korea, and Israel. So yeah, that's another fact that we have to keep in mind about the sweet peppers and how much money they get in the US dollars about exporting the peppers. Yeah, that's it. That's my presentation about the sweet peppers, and I hope you enjoy and like the presentation and everything. I'm sorry about my accent. Sometimes doesn't understand very well what I'm saying, but I try to do my best. Yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.